All right, welcome to The Explainer. So, what if I told you there's one single miracle molecule that could be the absolute key to your health? I mean, it might just be the most important substance your body even makes. We're going to dive into a massive health mystery today.
I know. It sounds like a ridiculously bold question. But just think about it for a second. What if the real answer to preventing some of the biggest chronic diseases out there, stuff like heart attacks, even Alzheimer's, was actually way simpler than we've been led to believe? Let's dig in.
So, the molecule at the very heart of this whole story is called nitric oxide. And believe me, it's not just important, it is absolutely revolutionary. So what exactly is this stuff? It's nitric oxide, or NO for short. Basically, it's a gas that your body makes, and it acts like a master messenger, telling all your cells what to do. But here's the truly wild part. It does its job, and then it's gone in less than a second. It just vanishes. Discovering this invisible, super-fast messenger was so groundbreaking it completely flipped our understanding of how our bodies work. It even won a Nobel Prize back in '98. So what does it do? Honestly, it's probably easier to ask what it doesn't do. It's the master regulator of your blood flow and blood pressure. It's your body's top defender, calming down inflammation and literally killing off bacteria and viruses. And on top of that, it's a master rejuvenator, calling in stem cells for repairs and firing up your mitochondria. The little power plants inside every single one of your cells.
And to really drive this home, check out this quote from Dr. Nathan Bryan. He's an expert who's been studying this molecule for like 2 decades. And he says that the loss of nitric oxide isn't just a factor in chronic disease. He argues it's the main reason it happens in the first place. That is a huge claim.
Okay, so if this molecule is so critical, so essential, what's the big deal? Well, the problem is our bodies are actually losing the ability to make enough of it. And this isn't some tiny, gradual drop. It is a dramatic decline. I mean, look at this. The data shows we're losing somewhere around 10 to 12% of our body's ability to make this stuff every single decade. Let that sink in. By the time you hit your 40s, you could have only half the nitric oxide you had in your 20s. And by your 60s, it could be as low as 15%. That's a huge problem. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about getting older. It's our modern lifestyle. Our diet, our daily habits, and even some of the products we use, thinking they're good for us, are actively sabotaging our body's ability to produce this vital gas.
So, let's put on our detective hats. What exactly is hijacking this critical molecule? The answers are pretty shocking, because the culprits are probably hiding in plain sight, maybe even in your bathroom cabinet right now.
Okay, so let's get into the first surprising culprit, antiseptic mouthwash. The stuff we use to kill germs? Well, here's the thing. For your body to make nitric oxide from the food you eat, it needs some very specific, good bacteria that live on your tongue. They're the first step in the whole process. But that minty fresh mouthwash, it doesn't discriminate. It just carpet bombs everything in your mouth, including those crucial good guys. So every time you swish, you're basically shutting down a key part of your NO factory. And get this, studies actually show that people who use it regularly see their blood pressure go up. Crazy, right? Now, culprit number 2 might be even more of a shocker. All you have to do is read the warning label on your average tube of fluoride toothpaste. It literally says something like, if you swallow this, contact poison control. I mean, why would it say that? Well, because fluoride is another really powerful antiseptic that, just like mouthwash, wipes out the good bacteria you need to make nitric oxide.
And the third major killer? It's common antacids. According to Dr. Bryan's research, people who use them long-term have a 40% higher rate of heart attack and stroke, a 40% increase. That is staggering. And it's because you need stomach acid for one of the main pathways to make nitric oxide. Antacids, well, they shut that whole pathway down cold.
Okay, that was a lot of bad news. But here's the good news. Fixing this is totally possible. It's largely within your control, and the best part? It doesn't have to cost you a single penny. So here it is, a simple 4-step plan to get your nitric oxide levels right back where they should be. It all starts with just getting rid of the stuff that's causing the problem and then adding in a few simple natural boosters. So, the The most important step is also the easiest, and it's free. In fact, it'll save you money. You just have to stop using the products that are doing the damage. Ditch the antiseptic mouthwash. Switch to a toothpaste without fluoride. And get off the antacids. Dr. Bryan says our bodies are incredibly good at healing themselves. We just have to stop getting in the way.
All right, let's talk about food, because there's a huge myth we need to bust here. When most of us hear the word nitrates, we immediately think of bacon and hot dogs, right? But look at the numbers. About 85% of the nitrates in our diet actually come from healthy stuff like leafy greens, arugula, kale, spinach. Cured meats, they only make up about 5%. And Dr. Bright even argues that the nitrate in those meats has been totally demonized and isn't the bad guy we've been told it is.
And guess what? There are even more free ways to boost your NO levels. Just the simple act of breathing through your nose instead of your mouth, that alone is scientifically proven to generate nitric oxide. So is getting some moderate exercise. That physical stress on your blood vessels is like a direct signal to your body, hey, make more NO. And finally, getting just 20 to 30 minutes of sunlight on your skin can unlock your body's NO reserves. All simple, all proven, and all totally free.
Now, to kind of put a face to what this deficiency might look like, the expert we're referencing, Dr. Bryan, actually applies his framework to public figures. And just so we're clear, this is his analysis, not mine. He points to Joe Biden as an example, and he describes him as, and this is a direct quote, a poster child for nitric oxide deficiency. Now, he bases this entirely on his own interpretation of what he sees as the signs of poor blood flow regulation. So again, this is presented as his expert opinion on the matter.
So when you put all this information together, it really boils down to one final, pretty provocative question. If our simple, daily choices can have such a huge impact on such a basic, fundamental process in our bodies, well, how much of our health is truly in our own hands? And that leads us perfectly to this last thought from Dr. Bryan, which I think is just incredibly empowering. The real message here isn't about some complicated biohacking routine. It's actually about simplicity. Just give your body what it needs, get out of its way, and trust that it knows exactly what to do. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.